when we were tasked with the spaces idea, um, I kind of envisioned, uh, I don't know, Second Life point two or point three. I mean, right now, I don't know how everybody else fares on the site. I purchased a new computer with tons of RAM and everything, and I still have difficulty maneuvering. It's very herky jerky. I did note by perusing, I haven't really gone to other areas. I don't know what's open to us, but I see that there are other areas of Second Life that look fairly sophisticated. Um, in particular, I think there was a physics site where they said you build objects that obey the laws of gravity and inertia and whatnot. So what I kind of envisioned was, uh, uh, I think I called it biome field trip, and it would be an opportunity for students to get out to various ecological biomes. I think the first group mentioned that ecosystems, term ecosystem, where they could go explore the desert terrain, and alpine terrain, a marine area, um, a rainforest, as was mentioned. But I envisioned technology that would be quite sophisticated, where uh, exploring these areas would be, you know, virtually going to them physically, so that you could um, maybe set up areas where the students could see food webs in action, um, uh, compare adaptations to the various environmental conditions. So, you could bring ecology and evolution studies into the sites. We thought we could even make it a little bit multidiscipline by enabling the students to take soil samples or water samples, do some lab work, on site. And, we just felt if this was sophisticated and rich enough, um, that it's inherently interesting to the students, that they would be able to visit these places in an almost real way. And then the last part of my suggestion was that we also have a virtual conference room where, for instance, students, once they've gone into a virtual desert, might be able to speak with students. And again, this is set in a time when these things are available to all, where they can speak to students that actually live in that type of environment, and compare notes. What did they get out of the virtual environment that aligns with some of the true things that are happening there, and vice versa, just to kind of a way to augment their virtual learning. Um, and I guess that was about it for me.
Uh, Thank you very much. That's very interesting. And I was going to type a note. When you first got your avatar, that regular avatar brings you to all of the other Second Life. And I've kind of forgotten myself that some of you who had been in the classes earlier have been to the other islands. That's why you know about them. The private island is so that we can bring in K-12 students as well. They can't be safely brought to the other islands. So anyway, but I think in the future I'll make sure we have some activities in both, because there is a lot that I don't want you to miss out on. But I'll send you materials on how to get to the other islands. But you're right, there's a lot there. We just have Dan left, who is yeah, he can't speak, but I think Jessica might speak for him. Okay, and I will pull the slides over. I know Dan did a nice job. And Jessica,
Hi.
why don't you
Okay.
speak for him?
Okay. All right. So what we were talking about in the group was an organic nomenclature Scrabble game. Can you go to the next slide? Oh my God. Okay. Um, to be honest with you, I'd have to read this whole slide. I can't speak to it because I mean, from what we discussed, it was going to be a virtual game that they could play. Um, creating molecules and the electrophilic. Okay, I can't see the slide.
I tried to bring up the last slide to see if that had more. It looks as though that first slide was talking about bringing in people from different cultures. This might be the slide you want.
Okay. Okay, so using the IUPAC nomenclature in combination with a Scrabble type game could bring students throughout the world together to compete in building and naming organic molecules. Okay, so setting up this Scrabble game to get people from around the world to come together. The common lower scoring letters would be the hydrocarbon building blocks of the molecules, while the higher scoring pieces would be the functional groups. So he put together pictures of some of the game pieces with the OH and the CC showing the different molecules. Each student would place a piece on the board until a completed molecule was built. The team would then have to correctly name the molecules to score points.
What I like about this too is you've really hit on something in terms of not being limited by language. Now that we can be so visual, there are lots of different ways we can bring people together. Now I know we've gone a little bit over time, so I'm going to say goodbye now. I want to say it's been a very interesting course. You're bringing up lots of great ideas, and there's a lot more that we can do with virtual worlds that already exist, and hopefully develop new ones. The idea of this private space is we can have some places for meetings and safe places that you can bring kids and friends to. So if there's something that you want some avatars for a reason, just get in touch with me. But I would like to thank all of you for a very interesting semester. Your work has been incredible, and I think that you've really challenged yourself, you've challenged me, and now go out there and challenge your K-12 kids. And I'm going to try to find a way to clap, but if I can't find it, they moved the gestures someplace. I don't know if I found them. But thank you very much, and I'll say goodbye, but please do come back here and come back here to meet your colleagues. We'll see if we can get some of the meetings that you suggested going. You also need to do a self-created artifact for your final portfolio. So if any of you want to host a virtual meeting, maybe we can make that one of your artifacts. So just get in touch with me. But in the meantime, I'll be in touch with you too. So